and that's what they do. They'll try to communicate with you, but it only be temporarily again, and then it's the same thing as slack off again.
Remember the last discussion that we had, and I said men can only remember for so long, and then you have to act up and act out.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which men, to me, this is my perspective, they're like hunters. And they always trying to go in and get their prey. Once they feel they got it, then that's when they start changing. But then, you act up and act out again, that means they gotta hunt. They gotta go back and
But what she said last time is, when are you gonna get tired of always doing that? When are you gonna get tired of the cat and mouse? Okay, I gotta teach him a lesson again. He gotta be on punishment because he did such and such. We gotta do this again. I mean, when are you gonna get fed up and say, why do I have to keep doing this all over and over again? When is your mate gonna come to the table with what you've been crying about, what you said you needed all the time? When are they gonna take responsibility and ownership and say, okay, I know she said this in the past, I'm not gonna trip out and have her repeat it again because I know she doesn't like it. When are we gonna have to stop? When are we gonna be able to stop having to put them on punishment just to prove that same point that we've been proving time and time again?
Because most men don't know what they want. When they get to the point to know what they want in them, out of themselves, out of relationship, out of life, then you won't have to go through that anymore. Just like as women, we have to figure out what we want, and men have to figure out what they want as well. Then once they figure you know, that's just what I think. That's just what I think.
But the question was, how long are you gonna do that before you get tired of doing it? And you just say, I'm not doing
Right.
it.
Exactly.
You maybe,
Is it a lifetime?
I mean, I just decided that I don't want to play the manipulation game. I just decided that I'm not going to play that game. I don't want to manipulate you into talking to me the way I want to be talked to, treating me the way I want to be talked to. I want to find a person who comes to the table already knowing. Because we come to the table already knowing stuff. They don't want to come to the table teaching us how to cook, how to take care of them, how to have sex, how to, you know, if we tell our man shut up, they don't want to have to teach us how to respect a man. So when do we say, you know what?
What do you come to the
I
table?
don't really want to have to teach you, you know, that this is how a woman should be treated.
Well, listen to this. This is something that you have to keep in mind. You have to keep this in mind.
Yes, teacher.
Please. Some don't know. So if they don't know, does that just automatically, you know?
So we spend a lifetime.
No, I'm not saying
they not willing to learn.
Okay, now that's something different from not willing to learn and not knowing.
Right, but we got on this conversation because you said they forget, they're like hunters, we gotta act up and act out. Well, when my mate does something that he knows was wrong, why should I have to act up and act out? As a matter of fact, it excuses them when I act up and act out because it gives them a right to get mad back at me, and that null and voids everything. But if I just be quiet, then they'll come and say, well, babe, you ain't gonna fuss at me?
Well, see, that's the form of acting up and acting out. I'm not saying act a fool, throw the clothes on the floor, do this or do whatever. Maybe it's not that communication that you usually give him. Maybe it's not that, you know, it's not that argument that you usually give him. Maybe it's not, when I say act up and act out, I'm not talking about, you know, a physical like throw the dishes or do this or do that. But like you said, that's one of the main things right there. If he know he's done wrong and you don't say nothing, oh, he gonna be like, wait a minute. She's not even saying anything to me. That's a form of acting up and acting out. So do you get tired of not saying nothing?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes,
I do. I really do.
Yes.
Because even after a while, that's not even effective.
No.
It's like, oh, all she gonna do is
And not
be quiet.
especially when you got one that really they can just be as silent as you can.
Okay, so what do you think about it? Do you think that in that relationship that person wants to be there, that person loves you?
You know what? That's the funny thing about men is when they want out of a relationship, they won't say it. They will just do things to make you get out of it. So sometimes you will begin to even doubt whether that person wants to be there or not. And if you ask them, they're still not gonna say. You say, well, baby, you know, do you really want this relationship? Is this something that you want to let go? You know, and they'll be like, yeah, I want this relationship. Knowing in their mind, they don't even want it. Because they refuse to be the one to say it's over. Yeah.
No,
You think so?
No, they're selfish.
Yeah,
They
want-
think they can have you and somebody else on the side too. So that's their problem. They're very selfish.
Have men ever broke up with you?
Exactly. They got a spare
Like
tire
that,
on the
this is
side.
over
You know what
with.
I'm saying?
I don't want to be with you anymore. Has anybody ever had a man to break up with them? I mean, you don't want to be singled out.
No, actually, I haven't. I mean, I haven't. But I can't put it
Most of the time.
Well, you know, they
most
won't
of the
say it,
time,
they'll just stop calling you, stop talking to you, that means, hey, they don't wanna be with you.
Most of
I
the
ain't
time,
never
like
had
you
that.
said, they're selfish. They want what you have and what the next one has to offer. They're not gonna come out and tell you, well, it's over, because they wanna tip over here and
And
tip
see how
over
long
there.
they can play.
And see how long they can play their game.
Well, yeah, that's a topic in itself, right there. That is a whole new topic.
But, I mean, you know, you ask the question, do they want to be in a relationship or do they love you? Do you have a, what you measure that against? Like,
And
how,
that's-
you know what I'm saying? Like,
How do you measure what?
if a person wants to be with you or if they really love you?
That's back to that question that you asked. How long do you play this game
Exactly,
with them?
exactly.
I mean, if you know you love this person, and women have intuition that a man really loves them, and you play that game as long as you love that person. When you stop loving that person, then nothing
I
matters.
totally agree.
Nothing
Because
matters.
that's like what they say. A woman's spoiled when a woman's fed up. I mean,
Right.
we
So,
done.
hey, done with
Yeah.
it.
But wouldn't it be nice to be in a relationship which you love that person and you they love you and you don't have to play that game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Like,
ultimate.
But
Well,
I'm the type of woman, I'm gonna tell you right up front what I want. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not going there. Okay, you either gonna do this or you're not. And the first little sign that you're not doing what you say, okay, that's it. Why? They come to my job. Why you didn't answer my call? Come to my house. Hey, you need to get away from here. Why would you like that? I'm the type of
Hey, you
play
need to get away from here.
because maybe in my heyday I would play that game, but I'm to the point now that I'm just not gonna play that game. Period. One night, bottom line.
And you know what? I've gotten to that point, but what I'm experiencing, especially in Atlanta, where the ratio of men to women is just off the chain so many more. Men are spoiled because it's
Yes.
like, okay, you ain't gonna put up with it, somebody else will, you know, and it's like that. You understand what I'm saying? Which is fine, go ahead, right. But I'm just saying, you get sick of encountering that, you know, where men are just
It's frustrating.
accustomed to letting women do whatever they want to do.
First of all, you must love yourself and everything fully about yourself. And once you know yourself and fully love yourself, then you have to trust that God will send you someone that will respect you for you. And once the man really respect you for you and who you are and love you everything about you, you won't have to worry about that.
None of that.
You won't have to worry about him coming in late. You won't have to worry about none of that. And you all can roll together. But few far in between. You are Okay, so we hope you all enjoyed the show. And we'll see you all again next week with Women Laughing Out Loud.